Hello everyone, welcome back to Tinateach HTML. Today we'll be looking at the head element, okay? This is less about coding. We're working with sort of the underlying mechanics within a website, so there won't be any direct display. But this is just to help the relationship between a browser and your website to be better and help, with user navigation and SEO, all that good stuff. We'll be looking at what you can put in the head tag, okay? So you have meta, base, and viewport, and I will move on to explain what each of them means individually. So let's visit the head tag first. Within the head tag, you can have the title, and then it is also where you put your internal CSS or link your external CSS. Okay, style sheet, href, styling.css. Make sure that the CSS pathway over here is correct. You may get into a little bit of trouble if this file is not within the same folder as your main HTML file. And it's also where you put your internal script as well. So JavaScript inside of an HTML. If you don't want the JavaScript to be within your HTML, you can, have the same thing like you did with CSS over here. You can simply link it to an external file. And within the JavaScript external file, you do not need to put script. You just put the JavaScript statements in there. Next up, meta. What is meta? I'm sure you've heard of this term in reference to websites and a lot of things. Meta specifies the character set, page description, this helps with browser, keywords, SEO, the author, viewport settings. Now, viewport settings is interesting because nowadays users use a wide variety of devices, right? And each of those devices have its own dimensions and its own size and whatnot. And the viewport helps your website to be more friendly to the different device size, okay? And it is used by browsers, it's used by search engines and other web services as well, whatever is involved. And it is not displayed to the user, okay, unless they specifically go looking for it. Now, this is a sample of what can be displayed in meta. We have car set or character set, UTF-8. We have name, keywords, and content. My keywords is Tinateach. And I have a description over here. My content is online tutorials. And you have name, author, content, Tinateach. And this, what this does is that it refreshes the page every 20 seconds or so. And you have the viewport over here, content width equals device width, initial scale. So this is like the zooming in. It is set to 1, okay? And the width is dependent upon the width of the device that the user views your website on. Now let's take a look at viewport. And what it entails. It is certainly important for cross-device experience. Nowadays, your website has to be available on a multitude of devices, not just laptop alone, but iPad, mobile, TV screen, actually. I almost forgot about that. And the width equals to device width is equivalent to page width equals to device screen width, as I've explained earlier. And the initial scale equals to 1.0, describes the initial zoom level when the page is first loaded, okay? You can certainly zoom it to 2, 3, 5, but it's going to look really weird when everything is zoomed and is not properly adjusted to the device width. Next up is base. Base deals with base URL and or target for all relative URLs. There can only be one within an HTML file, okay? There can only be one within an HTML file. If you remember correctly, when we learned about links and the A tag, there is an attribute, okay, calls target. This, specifies whether or not if you want the link to be displayed in a new tab or in the same tab or in a new window. And instead of having that for all of the links that you have within a website, you can simply put _blank for target for the base tag. So every time you have a link, you don't need to specify the target attribute of that link. When the user clicks on that, new tab, okay? So this is what you would see for a base section within an HTML file. You have the head tag, base, right? href website.com, target blank. So blank is a new tab, okay? _blank is a new tab. And when you have website.com for a tag over here, you click on it, it will display in a new tab. Now that's it for today's lesson. I hope that you enjoyed and that you learned something new. Our next topic is going to be HTML layout, which talks about, how you would organize the different elements of a website, the title, like the page title, and then different sections. And this would allow you, there are certainly ready to go formats that you can just rely on that, and you don't have to think about the planning and the organizing. And that's what I'm going to introduce you to that next lesson. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe. Learn today, better tomorrow. Goodbye.